How can the little wolf dog live up to the invincible food? Wong Wong. Ben Wong promised. Give it to me quickly. The little wolf dog wagged his fluffy tail, salivated, and agreed without principle. Lu Fan tore a chicken leg and threw it out. Little wolf dog hind legs a petal, fast, accurate, ruthless, bolt swallow. In the next moment, he stares at the chicken in Lu Fan's hand. After a lot of efforts, I'll take care of all the food and drink. Lu Fan said with a smile. It's a small investment for him. It depends on the dog's injury. Don't worry, I will never go back on what I promised. I don't know what I can do if I don't believe what I said. Honesty is the foundation of a dog. A dog can't stand without faith. The little wolf dog's eyes are straight, but his mouth is full of words. If it wasn't for Lu Fan's hearing, I didn't think a local dog could have such a high IQ. Oh, I really don't understand why so many people divide dogs into noble and humble lineages. Can't Chinese local dogs satisfy them? Lu Fan throws the remaining roast chicken to little wolf dog. After 30 seconds, the whole roast chicken disappeared into the dog's mouth. Oh, I forgot to tell you. It suddenly occurred to Lu Fan that this is not an ordinary roast chicken. This is an energetic roast chicken. Drink a little of the medicine for physical recovery can replenish your energy. If you eat a whole roast chicken, even he doesn't know what will happen. Lu Fan didn't say anything. He looked at the dog licking his paw strangely. It's more like a cat. I said, dog, you talk about hygiene. You're the only dog I've ever met who talks about hygiene. Lu Fan was surprised. He thought it was really not an ordinary dog. Wong, don't compare my Ben Wong with those dirty and smelly guys. Ben Wong was born into a noble family. The so-called clear water can wash my tassels. Stop, I'm convinced. I'm sure your former master must be an old scholar. Lu Fan can't look directly at this wonderful dog. The little wolf dog wiped his face with saliva seriously. He shook his body with satisfaction and slapped his ears a few times. Come on, boy. In return for your meal, I'll take you to a good place. Lu Fan's eyes brightened. Garbage? Of course. It wagged its tail and ran forward. Lu Fan stepped on his bicycle nimbly and followed closely. Little wolf dog's speed is not fast. Lu Fan easily followed. 3 minutes later, they came to a bridge cave. It's dark and dark under the bridge. There are lots of rubbish and potholes. There are no cars. There are several villages nearby. It is estimated that the garbage here was fallen by the villagers passing by. However, in front of him, the little wolf dog suddenly trembled all over. It seemed that something was wrong. It's strange why Ben Wong feels hot all over and hisses. The little wolf dog muttered. Next second, he jumped up with a whine and ran wildly. Lu Fan's eyes gaped, watching a dog running away with a big tongue. In the blink of an eye, there is no trace. A minute later, a straight yellow line came back. Boy, you tell me what you gave me to eat. The little wolf dog is breathing hot air, but it has a steady stream of energy. Tut tut, little dog, this is the end of gluttony. My chicken is a tonic. Enjoy it. Lu Fan was so happy that he watched the little wolf dog run back and forth for more than 10 times. Then he dragged his tired body to lie at Lu Fan's feet. Boy, this is not the end of Wong, and you it's not over. Then he fell asleep. Lu Fan shook his head. The original so-called tired into a dog is like this. Meow, what have you done to my elder brother? At this time, a feminine voice came out of the bridge. In the dim light of the bridge, out of a petite orange cat, her left hind leg in a limp. At Lu Fan meow cry, you? It's your big brother? Lu Fan opened his mouth and didn't know what to say. Is it so special that the dog and the cat have become friends? Meow, you can understand me. Orange Cat's soft fur suddenly exploded. This scene seems familiar. Stop, don't be nervous, little Meow. The dog was just doing exercise. It will be okay after a rest, Lu Fan quickly explained. At the same time glanced at the little wolf dog. Found that the latter's tail moved slightly. Oh, don't pretend. Get up and introduce. Lu Fan stamped his foot, and the smoke made the little wolf dog sneeze several times. Woof! Little wolf dog barked at Lu Fan and ran to Orange Cat. Sister, I'm back. Meow? I smell the meat. Brother, did you bring the meat back? Wong. The little wolf dog stopped talking for a while. How could it forget this? Meow? Orange Cat suddenly angry. A paw to scratch the dog. Lu Fan sighed, as if he saw the basic mode of love between men and women in reality. Just then, the phone rang. Lu Fan saw that it was Chai Shui. Dr. Liu, I'm sorry. I didn't know Xiaoyu would upload it to the internet. I'm really sorry. The wood snow sobs to say. The tone is very frightened. Lu Fan said with a smile. Xiaoxue, it doesn't matter. I didn't show up anyway. Besides, it doesn't seem to be your fault. He has checked the name of the original video uploader before. The specific information shows that the person's surname is Ko, and who did it is about to come out. But he's too lazy to investigate. But now a lot of people on the internet are slandering you and saying a lot of bad things. Chai Shui is very sorry. The original post caused a hot search. The title is more like a special war. The most prominent topic is whether acupuncture can cure cerebral hemorrhage. Netizens attacked one after another. And finally, a lot of medical experts jumped out. Western medicine, led by Wang Yuchun, a senior and famous doctor in Kyoto, absolutely denies this statement. The video is absolutely fake, and many Chinese doctors make complaints about acupuncture from the beginning. And finally, they stand up to the Western medicine and are spit out by netizens. And the video uploaders were silent all the time. This hot search almost always keeps in the top 10 of the list, which can be called the miracle of microblog. Chai Shui is very flustered when she finds out. She says Wang Yu a lot about it. Originally, Chai Shui asked Lu Fan to forgive him, but later he became Lu Fan to comfort Chai Shui. Thank you, Dr. Liu. I'll come to remove the stitches in a few days. I'll invite you to dinner and apologize. After chatting for a while, Chai Shui's address to Lu Fan has changed. Hung up the phone, Lu Fan, a little puzzled, muttered, "How can there always be girls to invite me to dinner? Is my charm so big?" He sighed and turned to look in the direction of the bridge. An orange cat and a little wolf dog sat side by side in front of him, looking straight at him. The eyes were full of scorn. Lu Fan became angry and roared at the little wolf dog with claw marks on his face. "What do you look at, dog? What's your look in your eyes? Haven't you ever seen such a handsome man?" A cat and a dog looked at each other and muttered, "Neuropathy." Lu Fan completely ignored the dogs and cats, picked up the woven bag, and walked to the bridge, which was almost filled with garbage. "Hey, boy, I'd like to remind you that someone is with you." Little wolf dog barked behind Lu Fan. "Someone's following?" Lu Fan turned around and glanced behind him. Except for the endless fields and the roads leading to the city, he didn't even have a ghost. "Guzzy, are you kidding? Where is anyone?" Lu Fan cut a, "Don't believe a bit." The little wolf dog ran to his feet and growled a few words in a low voice. Lu Fan was dubious and finally nodded. "A lot of rubbish. I'm going to start." Lu Fan turned around and walked slowly into the dim cave with a look of overjoyed. Orange cat and little wolf dog followed. 5 minutes later, a man's head popped out of the bridge and crept down the bridge. He looks thin, but he has a fierce face and a concave scar at the corner of his eye. Looking at the cave for a long time, no one came out. The thin man looked puzzled. The next second, he dials a number. "Hey, brother Yuan. Come on, he's in the bridge now. He hasn't come out for a long time." A strange laugh came from the mobile phone. "Haha, I finally got the chance. Give me a good look." Behind him was a woman with short hair in a leather coat. With a cold look, she took the man's arm and dragged it to the bridge. In the dark, Xiaolan is extremely vigilant. No one can escape her tracking, but in the face of cunning Lu Fan, she is still very cautious. By the faint light, she walked through the garbage without making any sound. You can see her skill. All of a sudden, a light flashed in front of her. Xiaolan flies up with her long legs straight and kicks at the light source. "Put down the phone." With a sneer, the thin man drew an electric stick from his waist and approached the bridge. Pa! After the sharp pain in the back of his head, the thin Chu man suddenly rolled his eyes and fainted to the ground. Behind him was a woman with short hair in a leather coat. With a cold look, she took the man's arm and dragged it to the bridge. In the dark, Xiaolan is extremely vigilant. No one can escape her tracking. But in the face of cunning Lu Fan, she is still very cautious. By the faint light, she walked through the garbage without making any sound. You can see her skill. All of a sudden, a light flashed in front of her. Xiaolan flies up with her long legs straight and kicks at the light source. Click! The light broke and the light disappeared. However, just as Xiaolan was kicking her feet, there was a sudden wind on the other side, forcing her. Pum pum. In a short moment, Xiaolan fought with the people in the dark more than 10 times. She was surprised to find that the other side's skill is no less than her own. Whoa, there was a sharp pain in her shoulder, and she felt that her left body was unconscious. She clenched her right fist and killed her opponent. But the next second her right shoulder was stung and she couldn't move. A strange breath blew at the back of her neck. You good, ah? The deep and turbid voice seems to come from the hell. When Xiaolon heard this, she had goosebumps all over her body. A cold and matchless woman was scared to tears at this time. Next second, ghost! Xiaolan screamed. Her voice broke through the sky. Woof! Meow! The barks of the cats and dogs were repeated. Has been warm palm immediately covered Xiaolan's lips. Oh! Xiaolan struggles desperately, but still can't resist. Shout again, cut off your tongue. A sulky man's voice came out. When Xiaolan heard the speech, she stopped crying. Her eyes were wide open, and she tried to see each other clearly. Lu Fan, let me go. You don't have to guess. We all know that it was Lu Fan who attacked her. Then, however, she exclaimed. The man in the dark picked her up and carried her on, his shoulder to the outside of the bridge. Lu Fan, what are you going to do? Let me go, Xiaolon screamed. She had never been treated like this. Shut up. Lu Fan slapped her on the hip. Xiaolan blushed and screamed again. I'll kill you. Outside the bridge, Lu Fan looks at the beauty with short hair and looks at her with great interest. I advise you to let me go as soon as possible. Otherwise your end will be very miserable, very miserable. Xiaolan's silver teeth are clenched, and Lu Fangang feels extremely ashamed of her frivolity. Lu Fan gave a bad smile and hugged his arms and said, I'm still so arrogant and threatening me. Should I start first? Said Lu Fan to Xiaolan Linglong body, ill-intentioned swept. But Xiaolan didn't have any fear at all. Instead, she straightened up and showed a provocative smile at the corner of her mouth. You try? It's just like I don't pay attention to Lu Fan. Is that okay? Lu Fan grinned and picked it up. A silver needle with a long middle finger appeared, shining in the sun. With Lu Fan's white crystal teeth, Xiaolan's eyes were so terrible. What are you going to do? A trace of fierce color in the corner of Xiaolan's mouth immediately converged, and the color of panic swept through her eyes. The next second, Lu Fan shot, as fast as the wind. Xiaolan suddenly felt a burst of electric current under her armpit all over her body. Ahaha, Lu Fan. Haha, what have you done to me? Xiaolan couldn't help laughing. She felt as if her armpit had been lit. It made her unbearable. This is more torture than torture. Ha 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 ha. As if possessed by a magic general laughter into Lu Fan's ears. The latter nodded with satisfaction. It's nice to see you smile, like a spring flower cough. How nice it is. Who can I show you a cold face? Lu Fan almost sang. However, the way Xiaolan laughs reminds him of his sister in the countryside. Today, seeing this cruel little beauty, she almost burst into tears. Lu Fan feels that she has saved a child with heart defects. He felt like he had done a good thing. Ha ha ha, Lu Fan. Ha ha. You wait for me. I will kill you, ha ha. Xiaolan's face is full of tears. I feel pity for her. She looks like a little girl who is happy and sad. People have to smile more to give people a kind feeling and shorten the distance between us. Come on, I'll wipe it for you. Lu Fan sighed and took out a package of tissue from the woven bag to wipe her tears. Xiaolon couldn't help crying when she saw this scene. Ha ha ha, Lu Fan. Take away your dirty things, ha ha. Woo woo. This is the real laughing and crying, right? Lu Fan sees Xiaolan smile into a tearful person. Feel guilty. Quickly remove her armpit silver needle. Xiaolon stopped crying. This paper towel is absolutely clean. Don't worry. I usually pay attention to hygiene. There are no serious or minor diseases. Lu Fanxin swore that the tissue was awarded by the system's father. I don't care if you pay attention to hygiene. Let me go now. Xiaolan saw Lu Fan's means and did not dare to say anything to threaten him. Lu Fan takes a look at the comatose man at the entrance of the bridge and looks at Xiaolan again. Should you first explain what's going on and why are you following me? Woof woof. Meow. Just then, a cat and a dog suddenly ran out of the bridge and yelled at Lu Fan. What? A lot of people are coming here. Lu Fan was slightly surprised. The little wolf dog was warning himself that he was not good at it. This seemed to one side of the small, blue dumbfounded, eyes full of surprise color. Can you understand them? Lu Fan nodded seriously, and then looked to the distance. In the distance, There seemed to be several cars coming this way. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? Dialogue with Stray Dog and Stray Cat. Lu Fan, are you mentally ill? Xiaolan suspected that Lu Fan was making fun of her and gritted her teeth. Woof woof. The little wolf dog put up its tail, bared its teeth, and barked at Xiaolan twice. What does it roar at? Don't bite me. I don't want to get rabies. Xiaolan is a little nervous. She can't move. If the little wolf dog bites her, she can't resist at all. Woof woof woof. Meow. This time, the little wolf dog barked more happily, while the orange cat next to him was glancing at the little wolf dog. I don't know why. Xiaolan feels that the cat is laughing. No, it must be an illusion. Do you really want me to say it? Lu Fan looked at her strangely. You make it up. No, you say it. Xiaolan said angrily, confronting each other with the little wolf dog. Cough. It said, you have rabies. Your family has rabies. What? Xiaolan Xiu's eyebrows stand up, and suddenly she looks at the dog everywhere. Let go of me. I'll kill the dog. Lu Fan patted her on the shoulder, shook her head, and went to the man who fainted. He picked up the baton and put it into the woven bag. Ding! The host picked up an electric stick and rewarded Raytheon with a watch. The system sounds suddenly, and Lu Fan gets a new special reward. He took a watch out of the woven bag. Lying trough, this Nima. Lu Fan can't help his rude remarks. This watch looks like a cartoon watch. It looks like a Pikachu. Its 2 sharp ears are very soft. It's made of plastic, not plastic. What is shown above is only a number of 100, which is not the time at all. Ha ha. Lu Fan grinned and played with the watch. He never had the courage to put it on. But at this time, the thin Chu man lying on the ground suddenly opened his eyes, jumped up and kicked Lu Fan's belly. Subconsciously, Lu Fan clenched his fist and hit his leg bone. At the moment when Lu Fan's fists touch each other's calves, ZZ, the thin Chu man made the sound of being attacked by electric current, and his whole body was shaking violently. Lu Fan quickly let go. The other side turned a white eye. Said a sentence, I Nima, fainted again. What's the matter? Lu Fan's face was muddled. He didn't make any effort. Soon he noticed a button on the side of the so-called Raytheon watch. Is it this watch? System, what on earth is this for? Lu Fan asked. System, ding, Raytheon watch. Self-defense equipment, necessary for family travel. Single fight and group fight. Can be charged with USB interface. Can cause coma, no damage. Lu Fan blinked and looked at the number of 99 on Raytheon's watch. He immediately understood that it was an artifact. Decisively put on Kawai's small watch. And Xiaolan first shocked and then despised eyes to the front. 3 black Land Rovers are approaching here. Let me go, I'll help you. Xiaolan said coldly. The 2 silver needles on her shoulder made her numb. Woof woof. Xiaolangu winked at Xiaolan, barked softly, and then licked his paw. What does it say again? Xiaolan is alert. She now believes that Lu Fan can understand the dog's language. But she also feels that the dog is saying something bad. It says that the ancients said that only villains and women are difficult to raise. Lu Fan Light said. Xiao Lanbei's teeth cackled, and his eyes almost wanted to eat were sweeping between Lu Fan and Little Wolf Dog. Hiss. 3 Land Rovers stop and immediately brushed down dozens of people. Lu Fan was stunned by the leader. He said with a loud smile, Oh, isn't this Brother Xiaodian? It was Tian Yuan, who wanted to forcibly take away Liang Xiaoqiu's noodle shop a few days ago. The last time I was taught by Lu Fan. I was very embarrassed and lost face in my own life. But who is Tian Yuan, the younger brother of Tang Tang Police Station? How can he just swallow this bad breath? That's why we have a comeback today. Hearing Lu Fan's Brother Xiaodian, Tian Yuan had goosebumps all over his body, and his yellow hair was almost straight. Who is your brother? He is a rag picker. He has nothing to do with labor and capital for 8 lives. I'm here to settle with you today. Tanhara rubbed his hands and shrugged. Behind him, more than 30 men with bare arms stepped forward. Each one had an electric stick in his hand. His chin raised high, and his eyes were rude. Lu Fan just glanced at the crowd, then said to Tian Yuan with a smile, Brother Xiaodian, where did you hire the security guards? Are they all for your wife? For your wife? Hearing the words, the crowd was stunned. Many confused eyes turned to Tian Yuan. Tian Yuan was also stunned. Then he glared at Lu Fan and said angrily, What do you mean by picking up junk? Xiaolan, including a cat and a dog, looked surprised. What does the boy want to do? The little coyote shrugged his ears. Lu Fan shook his head and sighed with regret. I'd like to make a statement here. It was your wife who first found me and gave me the medicine that made that absurd night. Brother Xiaodian, I'm also a victim. You can't give up our brother's feelings for many years just because of a woman. It's true that brothers are like brothers and women are like clothes. Shut up. Shut up. To this extent, even if Tian Yuan was a fool, he understood. In front of this goods openly to wear a colored hat. No, this is a forced slander. And the eyes of all the people behind him at this moment also began to become strange. This is not simply to see each other unhappy, but an ethical drama. Xiaolan was almost shocked by Lu Fan's nonsense, and her breath stopped for a moment. Woof woof. Meow. A cat and a dog also make strange calls at the same time. The sound is very long, like an arrow. Brother Ota, I know it's hard for men to talk about it, but you have to face the facts bravely. Look at me. I've begun to walk out of the shadow your wife brought me. And you can rest assured that your wife's children will have nothing to do with me in the future. Lu Fan's face was full of repentance and grief. His eyes to Tian Yuan were full of encouragement. I'm chow, I'm chow, I'm chow. Tian Yuan was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Countless greetings to his ancestors were blocked in his throat. That is, he couldn't say it. He was so angry and red. Give it to him. Tian Yuan's order, although some people hesitated, but still half surrounded up. Lu Fan gently breathed a breath, the Raytheon watch in his hand, to the front of the three people to explore. Who? 3 electric batons hit Lu Fan's chest and abdomen. These people are experts at it. With a sneer, Lu Fan wriggled to one side of his body, ran to one of them, and picked him up. The next second, the man picked up by Lu Fan suddenly flew into the air and hit the people who came. 7 or 8 people quickly caught him. And then immediately after that, zzz, the man who fell suddenly sent out a lot of electric current, which covered dozens of people. And a Pikachu watch appeared on the man's waist at some time. In the blink of an eye, Lu Fan made most people fall to the ground. All of them turned their eyes, trembled by the electricity, and called their mother in pain. What? You guys get up. How familiar and despairing was the scene of Tian Yuan kicking the crowd. Last time, it took a lot of time for the regiment to be destroyed. How come this time? The regiment has not been destroyed. Tian Yuan couldn't figure out whether the person he was looking for was too weak or the other party was too good. Wake up. Don't pretend to be dead. Wake up to me. Tian Yuan was about to cry because Lu Fan came to him with a devil-like smile. Lu Fan picked up his Raytheon watch and looked at the number displayed. It has changed from 99 to 68. But he just calculated very clearly that 32 people attacked him. Lu Fan went to Tian Yuan with a smile in his mouth. All of a sudden, his foot strength weighed heavy. Oh, it hurts. On the side of Lu Fan, a figure suddenly jumped up, broke away from his right hand, which was trampled on by Lu Fan, and ran to the direction of the city regardless of anything. Woof woof. The little wolf dog suddenly came to the interest, screamed, and ran after the man's ass. Lu Fan barked at the little wolf dog, and the little wolf dog seemed to respond with a long bark. Xiaolan is sure that Lu Fan can definitely talk to dogs. She held her breath and tried her best to press the silver needle on her shoulder, but it was more and more painful. Lu Fan didn't notice Xiaolan's action. In his eyes, there was only bad egg Tian Yuan. Brother Oda, why don't you have a long memory? What do you want me to do with you this time? Lu Fan squatted down and patted Tian Yuan on the shoulder. The latter's body trembled with fear. You can't move me. My brother is the director of the police station. Aren't you afraid to enter the bureau? Tian Yuan's voice trembled, but he still threatened Lu Fan. Lu Fan really frowned when he heard the speech. When Tian Yuan saw the play, he suddenly got up and said with a smile, "What's the matter? I'm afraid. As a rag picker, what's the matter if you can fight? Well, if you kowtow 3 times in front of me and pay me another 500,000 yuan, our account will be written off." Lu Fan's face was getting worse and worse, and his eyes showed a trace of despair. He sighed softly and said, "Brother Xiaodian, let's shake hands and make peace." Then he stretched out his right hand. Tian Yuan snorted. He reached out his hand and said, "Those who know current affairs are heroes." The dizzy electric current was all over Tian Yuan's body, making his voice tremble and his teeth tremble. Shouty on things, you are so simple. Lu Fan smiles gently and looks at Tian Yuan fainting to the ground. And behind Tian Yuan, a little wolf dog ran back with a flower underpants in its mouth. Wang, you let Ben Wang strip him. Ben Wang did it. Ben Wang is going to eat 10 roast chickens tonight. Meow, I want to eat 10 fish too. Orange Cat also jumped over. Lu Fan looked at the little wolf dog and said with disgust, who let you have that? It's easy to remind people that the dog can't change. Wolf the little wolf dog interrupted first and said, Ben Wang is a learned. Wang, don't think Ben Wang doesn't know what you're talking about. Bah. He vomited out his flowery underpants and trampled on all his limbs. Lu Fan sighed, what a wonderful dog. Take out the woven bag and take back all the sticks on the ground. But at this time, a strong wind came from behind him. Lu Fan instinctively hid, but he ran into a stick. He reluctantly turned around, looking at the cold face. Xiaolan clenched 2 electric sticks in both hands and quietly looked at himself. It's a big deal. In the muddle, there was a figure in white approaching him, and he was holding a silver shining weapon in his hand. After a brief silence, Lu Fan makes a sudden move, grabs each other's wrist by intuition, and subdues him. Ah! A scream wakes Lu Fan up completely. He was stunned and looked down. A panicked female doctor was lying in her arms. Her white face turned into a peach blossom. Who are you? Lu Fan doubts, but also found his hand in her wrist. Let me go? The female doctor's surgical suture needle was inserted directly into Lu Fan's thigh. Hiss. Lu Fan bites her teeth in pain and pushes the woman doctor away from her. You're a woman. You're so cruel. Lu Fan covered his thigh and said angrily. At this time, he saw the woman doctor. She was about 25 or 26 years old. She was beautiful and pure, but she looked like an iceberg. A beautiful long black hair bunched into a ponytail. But the broad doctor's uniform set off her proud posture. The woman doctor put her hands in her pocket, and her anger kept rising. Oh, I'm cruel. I haven't seen a patient like you since I've been a doctor for so many years. The female doctor said coldly. Patience. Lu Fan was surprised and looked around. It turned out to be a separate room with bright lights above. At the same time, he recalled what happened before he went into a coma. Xiaolan, I'll never keep it next time. Lu Fan clenched his teeth, but it affected the wound on the back of his head. I advise you to stabilize your mood. I just sewed up the wound for you. How did you get hurt? If you didn't take good care of it, you started with others again. The female doctor read fragmentary, full of disdain for Lu Fan. It seems that she treats Lu Fan as a troublemaker. Lu Fan touched the bandaged wound, sighed and asked, thank you. What's your name? Hua Milan. Flowers Milan. Lu Fan looks at the female doctor with suspicious eyes. Hua Milan. Is this funny? Look at me again with this kind of eyes. Believe it or not, I'll sew your eyes up too. Hua Milan shakes the suture needle in her hand, and her eyes are ice-sealed. Lu Fan had a cold war and said with a dry smile, where am I? The 2nd Municipal People's Hospital. A little beauty sent you to say that you wanted to invade others, but she beat you up. They didn't want to investigate, so they left first. Hua Milan said, turning a white eye at Lu Fan, wantonly expressing contempt for Lu Fan. What? Lu Fan clenched his fists and was furious. Did he invade her? Slander, absolute slander. Is that she doesn't mean well to me and wants to take advantage of me. I fight hard, but she knocks me out. Dr. Hua, believe me. Lu Fan solemnly said, heart's secret way. Xiaolan, you wait for me. None of my business. Hua Milan laughs, turns around, opens the door and goes out. Lu Fan, a woman with good personality. He covered his head and went out, and immediately found that his woven bag was missing. It's gone. Hold the grass. Lu Fan felt as if he had lost the whole world and rushed out. System Dad, can you fix a seat? Help System. The system did not respond. Hospital corridor. In addition to nurses, doctors and patients, clean. Where there is his woven bag. Brother Fan. Behind him came a timid voice. Lu Fan turns around. Snow. Chai Shua, with her little hand on her back, looks at Lu Fan with a smile. Van Gogh, what are you doing? She looked at Lu Fan's head with a bandage, and her eyes showed a trace of banter. Hi, Xiaoxua. I'm here again. Lu Fan dry smile. This is what fate ah. Looking at Lu Fan's embarrassed appearance, Chai Shua chuckles. Brother Fan, I heard that you bullied girls and were beaten. Chai Shue's eyes are bent into crescent moon. Several nurses passing by overheard it and looked at Lu Fan with their mouths curled, disdaining him. Lu Fan's heart is sad, and he expresses his innocence. I repeat, she did not mean well to me. I was attacked by her because I could not resist. Chai Shui affirms Lu Fan with disbelief on her face, and then draws her hand out from behind. Van, do you want any more equipment? Chai Shue's hand is Lu Fan's woven bag. Lu Fan's face was full of joy, and he reached out to take it. Finally, a hanging heart came down. Xiao Shue, thank you. This is my heirloom. I can't find it if I lose it. Chai Shui surprised. Heirloom, garbage bag? Well, I won't explain to you. You don't understand. Lu Fan sighed in secret. He felt lonely all over the world. Chai Shuen nodded in amazement. As soon as you listen to it, there is a story. Brother Fan, why don't you stay in the hospital for a while? The girl named Xiao Lan said that you might have a slight concussion. Lu Fan, no need. I think it's necessary. Chai Shui took a deep breath and said seriously, well, I'll have a rest in the hospital. I'm fine anyway. Lu Fan stretches and follows Chai Shui to the ward last time. Dr. Lu, here you are again. A few days ago, Lu Fan was cured of sudden cerebral hemorrhage. Granny is still in the ward. And other patients Lu Fan did not know one. Grandma, are you better? With a gentle smile, Lu Fan went to Grandma's bedside and felt her pulse easily. Much better. Dr. Lu, thanks to you, Grandma. I can be discharged in a few days. The old lady has a kind face, which gives Lu Fan a kind feeling. Grandma, don't call me a miracle doctor. Xiao Lu will do it. I'll just do it a little bit. Lu Fan obviously felt the strange eyes of other patients, quickly said modestly. Well, Xiao Lu, we still have the same surname. But what's the matter with you? Why do you look more serious than last time? Don't you know how to cure? How can you still hurt like this? 3 questions in a row, every sentence of heart. Air. Lu Fan dry smile. Can't say is beaten. That oneself handsome and powerful image not destroyed. Or Chai Shui added in time. Grandma, Brother Fan. He was accidentally hit by a car. Oh, so careless. Xiao Lu, you have to be careful when you walk. Granny Lu holds Lu Fan's hand with great concern and looks very loving. Lu Fan instantly felt that he would not smile. He looked back at Chai Shui, who gave himself a sly smile. Ha ha, Grandma. Being hit by a car is a little thing, a little thing. Lu Fan can only smile back. Old lady, what did you just call him, doctor? Is this what you call a miracle doctor? Such a young man is not bluffing. Can he cure cerebral hemorrhage? People around began to speak intentionally or unintentionally, pointing at Lu Fan. Chai Shui looks at Lu Fan's back with a smile. She also looks forward to seeing Lu Fan create a miracle. You really don't believe it. Look at the owner of your bed, who was pricked with needles by Xiao Lu. And they took some garbage without any money. What are you waiting for? Granny Lu didn't know where to get the melon seeds. She was chatting and nagging. She felt sad that people didn't know how to cherish the people in front of her. Xiao Lu, don't you bother? Granny Lu patted the back of Lu Fan's hand and said with a kind smile, haha, it's no trouble at all. Lu Fan bitter than smile. He thought carefully. He promised Chai Shui a stay in the hospital is to what? Juyang Xianxian acupuncture combined with Fushi Bagua acupuncture. The strangers in the ward changed from resistance and suspicion to active cooperation and full of expectation. It took only 1 minute for an old man's trigeminal neuralgia to be cured. Uncle is very generous and gives Lu Fan a tomato instant noodles with half a bowl of soup. Ding, the host picked up half of the tomato instant noodles and rewarded a high-quality and hungry tomato. Lu Fan blinked and realized that there was a red tomato in the woven bag. Is it a hungry tomato? System. After eating, not hungry for 3 days. It's a good thing. It can save more time to pick up rubbish, Lu Fanqin thought. System. The host has such an idea. The system is deeply gratified. Hereby once again reward a high-quality hungry tomato. Lu Fan was stunned. System dad is so sweet, haha. Miracle doctor, if you are a miracle doctor, I feel really good. Old lady, what you said is aimed at me. I really don't know what to say. Doctor, take this Swiss watch. And my gold necklace, I don't want it. It's been 3 years since I suffered from epilepsy. I've never felt so comfortable as today. My eyes, you can see. I have to say that this round of patients are very generous. Generous to Lu Fan almost moved. If you accept these valuable items, the rewards given by the system don't know how many times. However, the next moment, he immediately wake up. His own collection of garbage has been a lot of money. Collecting the money of these patients will only make his conscience uncomfortable. Aunts and uncles, I only want rubbish. Lu Fan shook the woven bag in his hand and said firmly. When they heard the speech, not only did they not express doubt and surprise, but admiration and emotion appeared in their eyes. The old lady is right. Dr. Lu is really a good doctor. We've cured our illness, but we still don't accept the money. It's like a contemporary Huatua. Let me worship him. One of them, a man in his 50s, sat up. He was the one whose eyes were cured by Lu Fan. Lu Fan hastened to stop him. He couldn't stand it. Don't worry, uncle. If you really want to be grateful, give me that fashion magazine. Lu Fan pointed to the magazine on the table next to my uncle. The cover seemed to be a certain angel. It was very revealing. Uncle's old face is red, and he says angrily, "Which turtle and grandson have set me up to bully my eyes?" Other uncles smile, but several aunts give it away. So uncle this. Lu Fan put his hand in the past, but uncle's hand was faster and grabbed it. Uncle Sean said with a smile, "Young man, this should be my grandson's stuff. He may be angry if he can't see it when he comes back. Well, I'll give you this jade pendant." Then he took out a crystal clear jade pendant. You don't have to look at it. It's worth a lot. The people around are breathing a little bit, which is really generous. No, uncle, it's too expensive. I can't accept the body protection jade. Lu Fan refused. No, you have to take it, he said, holding the fashion magazine tightly. The jade pendant can't protect my eyes. What's the use of it? No, I only take garbage. This is rubbish. Uncle directly identified the jade pendant and threw it into Lu Fan's garbage bag. Ding, the host picked up an emerald. Jade pendant to reward Yundao Jade. Talisman and double his luck. Lu Fan is a little confused. This is okay? Chai Shui and Granny Lu are both happy for Lu Fan from the bottom of their hearts. Vango, you are so good. Chai Shui seems to see the shadow of her grandfather on Lu Fan. Just then, the phone rings. Chai Shui takes a look and goes out in a hurry. The third-floor corridor of the second municipal hospital. Chai Shui looked around as if she was looking for someone. Snow here. A thick voice sounded in Chai Shui's ear. In front, a middle-aged fat man in a suit sitting on a bench put down his magazine and looked at Chai Shui with a smile. Uncle Yu, why are you here again? Chai Shui helplessly looks at him. The successful man has come to him many times. If Lu Fan saw him, he would be surprised. It's Yu Yuqian. Yu Yuqian didn't seem to see the boredom and helplessness in Chai Shuimu's eyes. His voice was imploring. Hey Xiaoxua, it's Uncle Yu. Please help me beg for mercy in front of the old man. Your grandfather you won't last long. It's hard to imagine that the leader of the real estate industry would be downhearted. To a little nurse. Chai Shui put her hands in her pocket and tried her best to be cold. But she still hesitated. Uncle Yu, it's not that I don't agree with you. But my grandfather has repeatedly stressed that I'm not allowed to mention your affairs in front of him. Especially my grandfather Yu. You don't know what happened between them. That's the hatred of taking a wife. As soon as he said this, Chai Shui felt a little rude and quickly covered her mouth. Yu Yuqian was not angry, but he looked sad. It was bloody to mention the things of the previous generation. His father's name is Yu Ju. He is the president of Jinan Group. His company is more than 100, and his wealth is more than 100 billion. At the beginning of his business, he also had a brother named Chai Yuqing, Chai Shui's grandfather. He was very famous in the field of traditional Chinese medicine. Yu Ju had offended many people when he was in business. Fortunately, he had Chai Yuqing to save himself from danger. Originally, the two brothers were destroyed because of Chai Yuqing's childhood. That woman, who is now Yu Yuqian's mother, abandoned Chai Yuqing and fell in love with Yu Ju. When Chai Yuqing learned the truth, he left behind a sentence, "Don't cheat your friend's wife." He left angrily and never saw Yu Ju again. But a few days ago, Master Yu Ju didn't know what disease he had suddenly. His organs were aging rapidly. He couldn't take good care of all the famous doctors. He was about to die. Yu Yuqian was very anxious. Now Chai Yuqing has become a leader in the field of traditional Chinese medicine. He has excellent medical skills, so he can only ask Chai Yuqing. But when Chai Yuqing is there, he will not agree easily. Yu Yuqian's heart is sad. Sometimes he thinks that the name of the old man is wrong. Yuju, his brother's wife dares to rob him. The old man is really cruel. Xiaoxue, don't be too busy to refuse. I heard that the old man has been asking for Fang Dantu from Gufang recently. Why don't you send him to me? Yu Yuqian takes out an antique wooden box from his arms, but his heart is dripping with blood. The things in this wooden box are worth thousands of gold. Chai Shui was surprised and said, Uncle Yu, is it the ancient prescription that you auctioned last time for 10 million yuan? It's too expensive. She refused again and again. She heard from her grandfather that Le Fangdan could keep her face forever, but she was robbed by her husband's family. Yu Yuqian pushed Chai Shui. No, you have to take it. I really can't take this. Take it back, or my grandfather will blame me. Chai Shui has a firm attitude. Unexpectedly, Yu Yuqian was more determined and released his hand directly, saying, No matter how valuable the things you send out by Uncle Yu, I won't take them back. Don't give them to me. Give them to me, and I'll throw them away as garbage. Yu Yuqian retreats back and forth, and sometimes he has to send people by force. Who knows? Chai Shui didn't plan to take it. Pa! The box fell to the ground and rolled several times. Uncle Yu, take it back quickly. I really can't take it, or my grandfather will break my leg. Chai Shui doesn't dare to pick it up. With her knowledge of Yu Yuqian, she just needs to pick it up. I'm afraid Yu Yuqian will disappear. No, it's rubbish in my eyes. It's treasure in your grandfather's eyes. Yu Yuqian stood far away, arms in his arms. Uncle Yu, you are too the rascal. Chai Shui looks helpless. Just then, well, there are people who treat this as rubbish. A man came out of the ward and picked up the wooden box in front of the door. Ding! The host picked up a picture of Le Fangdan and awarded a bottle of Le Fangdan.